Hey there, Bright Ideas fans. Welcome back to another Whiteboard Friday video for Friday, January the 13th. So I'm back. I missed a couple of weeks off with the Christmas break, and last week I decided to put out a podcast and a blog post instead of the Whiteboard Friday video. It's episode 214. If you missed it, I recapped the year of 2016 and laid out my plans for 2017. And again, you can get to that at Brightideas.co/2014. Lots of stuff I want to cover off today. You're going to see when we get into the numbers here, there was a decline in margin. I want to tell you why. I posted a question in the forum last week about what's the number one problem holding you back, and people surprisingly said they didn't know how to find products. So I'm going to explain to you exactly how we do that today. And then I'm going to point you to a resource that you can use to get much more detailed training than what I provide in my Whiteboard Friday videos. So with that said, let's get into the numbers, and boy, they're good. They're really, really good. So the last 7 days revenue was $28,526. So those of you who are good at math would realize that puts us on a run rate for about $120,000 per month, which is awesome given that this is our 5th month in this business. We may run out of one of our top selling products here in the next week or so, and the manufacturer is back ordered. So if that happens, that's going to slow us down a bit. 11% profit margin, $3,277 profit on the week. So, and then 30-day margin, you can see we're getting very close to our goal that I set when I started this of $100,000 per month. I wanted a 15% margin. We're just shy of that at 13, and that was profit of $12,143. So why did the profit margin drop? Well, it dropped because one actually of our older top selling products has become unprofitable for us. And this is something I want to talk about for a minute, because there's a huge difference here between the private label business and the wholesale business. And Dan Meador and I talked about this at length on a webinar that we did, I think it was yesterday. And here's the big thing I want you to understand and why I like this business so much more than the private label business. So in the private label business, when you invest in a product, you can lose all of your money, all of it. Because if you never sell any and you spend all this money giving it away and getting pictures taken and all this stuff, you can lose it all. The worst that's going to happen to you in wholesale is what happened to us on this one particular product. At the time that we sourced it, the retail price was $19.99. And right now, when we have barely any left, we're almost out of it, the retail price has dropped down to $16.50. So why did that happen? Well, because other third-party sellers are stupid. That's why. Because they're thinking, well, I'm going to get a bigger share of the buy box, so I'm going to lower my price, thinking that nobody else will lower their price. Well, guess what? Everybody else lowers their price, so you end up with the same share of the buy box, but now you don't make any money. So what did that mean for us? It meant instead of making, $2 a unit, we're losing, 50 cents or 70 cents per unit. And I just decided, well, screw this, I'm getting out of that product. So I was matching that low price on the buy box so that we can get our proportionate share of the sales. And obviously that negatively impacted our profit margin. As soon as we're sold out of that product, now we don't record that revenue anymore because we're not making sales, but we're also not recording those losses anymore. So when I look at our profit on a daily basis, the last couple of days, we're right back up at the 15% where we need to be. And we actually have a number of products in our catalog where our gross profit margin is 20, 22, 23%. So anyway, that's the explanation for why the profit has declined. So now I want to talk about how to find products. And let me just say that if you're sitting in front of your computer and you're doing research on a product by product basis, you're kind of doing it wrong. And that is a really painful way to try and find your products. So here's what we do. And Dan Meador calls this leaf sourcing, but regardless of what you call it, the process is the same. Go in Amazon in the category that you want to be in. Punch in any product, literally anything. It does not matter where you start. Pull up a product. So let's say you found a widget. Look at who are the sellers of that widget. And so you could get to that by clicking the little link that's underneath the buy box, available from other sellers. And there you're going to be presented with a list of 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 other sellers. And beside every one of those sellers is a link to their seller page. And underneath or right beside their link, it shows their lifetime seller feedback. So we tend to focus on sellers that have around 2,000 to 15,000 plus or minus, somewhere in that range, total lifetime feedbacks. Pick any one of those sellers. They are bigger than you, but they're not huge. They don't have hundreds of thousands of feedbacks. Then look at their product line. When you click on their link, it's going to take you to their product page. You can click on products and it'll show every single product that that seller has for sale. There's your shopping list. Simply go through every single one of those products and punch them into a scorecard that I've created. And I actually got this from Dan, the wholesale formula. I just turned it into an Excel doc, and below this video, there'll be a link, and I should actually make a note of that right now so I don't forget. There'll be a link. And all you do is you take your Jungle Scout and you punch in the relevant numbers into the yellow boxes on the scorecard, and it's going to give you a score for the product. If the product score is 75 or higher, and it says this right on spreadsheet, so you don't have to memorize this, go after the product. What do I mean go after the product? Call the supplier. Email the supplier, or do both. Email is great because, and I explained in detail how I've automated this and done this on scale in Bright Ideas episode 213. But calling is also incredibly valuable. Just this morning, for example, I called a brand in the automotive space. And it took me several calls to get this guy on the phone, and finally he took the call. And he said, "Are you guys an Amazon seller?" I said, "Yes, we are, and we're very different than most other Amazon sellers." I said, "Most other Amazon sellers have a product portfolio with thousands of SKUs in it. They don't care about the brand, and they essentially race to the bottom on price, and once all the margin is out of the product, they're off to the next product." And he said, "Amen, brother," because that was the big problem that he had. And I said, "We're the polar opposite of that. Our responsibility is to work with the brand, to become a partner and help them solve the problems that they're having on Amazon. So we want to adhere to MAP. We want to get pricing under control. We want to eliminate the unauthorized sellers. We want to help you to increase market share and get rid of all the problems." He says, "Well, I'm interested. How do you do that?" And then I went on through all of my talking points. And as a result of that, and so my point of saying pick up the phone is, could that have happened? Could that two-way of conversation have happened in 3 or 4 minutes over email? No, not a chance. You're just another email if you're just another third-party seller if you're not picking up the phone. You've got to have conversations. And I had 2 or 3 of those this morning before filming this video. And these are massive opportunities. To put this in perspective, that one product that I just mentioned does $800,000 a year on Amazon. He thinks it should do 1.2 million. And they have a huge price erosion problem. He said, "Trent, if you can help us to solve this problem," he said, "I have thousands and thousands of other SKUs, and we'll do business with you on all of them. We represent," I forget what the number was, X number of manufacturers in this industry, and they're all calling me all the time complaining about these problems. So if you can help us to solve these problems," he says, "we're going to do a lot of business together." Would that have happened if I just sent him the email? No, because I did just send him the email a couple of times before, and he never replied to any of them. So my big takeaway for you is pick up the phone. If you don't know what to say, just make calls anyway. You'll get it figured out by trial and by error, because you're going to hear the same objections over and over and over again. And when you do, pay attention to them, figure out what you're going to say, so the next time you get the same objection, you sound like you know what the hell you're doing. That is the number one reason why we are growing as fast as we are. Just as a recap, 1, because we source products just by basically finding competitive sellers and going after everything that meets our scorecard criteria. And we've scaled and automate that with virtual assistants and email. And then for products that are high scores, where we don't get a reply on email, we pick up the phone as many times as is necessary to get through and have a conversation that can lead to a significant business opportunity. So with that said, there's a lot of details that it takes to be successful in this business. I mean, conceptually it's simple, but the devil is in the details. And I've never produced a training course. I don't think that I ever will produce a training course because I'm simply too busy running my business. I kind of like doing these Friday videos, so I do them for you. But Dan Meadors, who's been a wonderful mentor of mine, offers the wholesale formula. There will be a link below this video. It's my affiliate link, and it leads to a series of free workshops that go into more detail than I've gone into in this video. And at the end of that, you'll have the opportunity to buy the course, which I've had access to for months, and it has been incredibly valuable for us. They have a private Facebook group, which has been incredibly valuable for us. Anytime anyone comes to my team, comes from my team rather, and they ask me a question and I don't know the answer, I go ask it in the TWF forum. 3, 4, 5 minutes later, we have an answer. Huge value. So if you want more on that, if you want to see those videos, go ahead and click the link that is below this video. So that's it for this overly long Whiteboard Friday video. If this is your first video and you're not yet familiar with Bright Ideas and you're not a subscriber and you'd like to receive notifications of future videos, just go to Brightideas.co, become a subscriber, and you'll get an invite to my private Facebook mastermind group where we have a discussion on a daily basis about the business of wholesale. If you have a question that you would like me to answer in future videos, go to Brightideas.co/asktrent. And if you're here watching this on YouTube and you'd like to get notifications, just click the link. I think it's down there to become a subscriber. And if you thought the video was helpful, click the thumbs up button. So that's it. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you very much for tuning in. And like I always say, we'll see you in the next Whiteboard Friday video. Take care. Bye-bye.